Hi, and welcome back to Reinvent Her, where we're talking with women who are reinventing their careers through change, through pivot, or a complete relaunch. So today we have Dana Diorsi with us, and I'm super excited to have her with us here today because Dana and I have been colleagues and teammates when we worked together for a direct sales company. So I'm excited to have her with us, and I cannot wait for all of you to hear her story. So Dana, go ahead and let us know a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here, Paige. I'm so excited to get to chat with you. So I am a mom to two very busy kiddos. My children are 14 and 10.
Wow.
I live in Rhode Island with my husband, Michael. And kind of my past life before I was doing what I do now is I did work in corporate America. I worked for a Fortune 500 company in corporate communications and marketing and PR. And I actually absolutely loved my job. I had a great job. I had all the sweet perks. We got to fly around on the corporate jet. We owned Cessna aircraft, so we had corporate jets. We get to, live the life, do all the things.
Yeah.
We were living the life. And I was really, had been identified as someone who may grow into a higher leadership position. And so I was on track for that until I had my kids. And everything kind of changed for me at that point. I still loved the work I was doing, but I felt torn because I wanted to be home with them. And I felt very frustrated that there weren't more, at that time, flexible options for women in the workplace. I felt like I could probably get my job done in half the time if I didn't have all of the silly meetings we were having that really didn't accomplish any. I really felt like there was a lot of ways that I could trim the time that I was working and still accomplish the same results, and that I could do a lot of those things from home. I recognize some things required being in the office, but there were a lot of things I could do from home and have a little more flexibility.
Right.
But that was not where that company was at the time. That was not the reality of where that company was. And so I had my daughter, and then I had my son 3.5 years later. And at that point, my father had also passed away. And it was just, sometimes you have those times in life where it just forces you to stop and rethink what you're doing. And is this really what you were put on the earth to do, what you're meant to be doing? Are you really feeling fulfilled? And even though I loved the work, I felt like there were too many sacrifices I was making. And so I decided that I was going to do something new. So my transition out was actually, I decided to start a coaching business. And I was doing, I had gone through a coaching program, my academic background's in psychology. So I started doing coaching on the side while I was still in corporate. And because my background in corporate was in like marketing and all of that, I sort of immediately realized I had to market my business. And so I started working on social media marketing and information marketing and all of that. And so I started doing that. And then people would ask me for coaching on that. So I kind of transitioned from like life coaching to business coaching. And that's where I kind of settled in for a bit.
And what a good niche for you too, coming from where you were in corporate and then settling there. That's a nice transition.
Absolutely. So it kind of just, both of those things melded together very well.
Yeah.
But running a small business is it's expensive, it's time consuming, you are everything for that business. And so while I had sort of started, and then I ended up, I had transitioned out of corporate, I had left my job and I was doing that solely for a short period of time. And it was a lot. I mean, I was investing a lot of our money into it. It takes a little while to see a turnaround. And I was working very long hours because I was doing everything from scratch. And so, but I was happy and I was doing that. And then in walked direct sales. And so it was really, I was a consumer. I had met my upline at a vendor event. I was networking actually for my other business. I met her, they had a table. I am a shopper. I've always been a shopper. I've always loved jewelry. I was magnetically attracted to it. I bought a bunch of things and she was just the most delightful person. And we know her in common, our friend Kendra. Yeah. And she just was like the sweetest thing. Mm-hmm. And I just, you just meet people and you're like, I just need to be friends with you. I just do.
Because so especially her.
Yeah. I mean, she's just amazing. And so she was like, would you be interested in doing a party? I'm like, sure, I'll do a party. So she did a party at my house. I introduced her to all my friends. All my friends did parties with her. We were all shopping from her. And she kept saying to me, you should really do this. I mean, you would be so good at this. And I said, oh my God, I would be terrible at that. I'm not a salesperson. It was not really my thing. I'm just happy to buy from you. Until one day I kind of, I don't know, again, sometimes these things happen. They were having a special. I said, you know what, I'll try it out.
Right.
And I warned her, I said, just so you know, I'm not going to do a lot of parties. Like I'll do like my party and a couple of other people, but I'm not going to be one of those people that
right. I'll
really
be
does
the,
this.
what is it? The kit snatcher.
I was going to be a kidnapper.
Right.
I was going to be a kidnapper. Right. And she's like, that's fine, no problem. So then I started doing it and I really kind of found my passion. I could not believe that I would go to parties, and this was when we were doing in-person parties, and meet all these fabulous women. I'm playing with jewelry, I'm drinking wine, I'm having the time of my, it's like I'm at a party.
Right.
And
it's
then
like girls' night all the time.
Okay, and then I would get paid hundreds of dollars for it. And I was like, I kind of felt like they should be paying me to get out of the house. I was so happy to get out of the house. You know, when your kids are little and bedtime, you kind of just want a little break.
Yeah.
I thought they should be paying me. So then I was like, I kind of looked around. I really looked at the business opportunity of it. And I said, you know, I'm going to really give this a go. Let's just see what happens in a year. And within 10 months, I was earning kind of a full-time level income. I had risen to the top 2% of the company. So, you know, things were going well.
Yeah.
I kind of put aside my business coaching and I was really focused on that till I kind of got to a point where I felt stuck. And there had been a lot of transitions and changes in the company over the period of time I was with them for, I think it was almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And
I know that company well myself.
Yeah. And so there were a lot of transitions. Compensation plans had changed. The structure of the company had changed. They had taken on other lines of business, which sort of diluted focus. Yeah. And there were just a lot of things that were happening that were changing the satisfaction I was getting from it.
Yeah.
And so so I started to realize I might have to do something different. And in walked my current business, which is Park Lane Jewelry. And we had several people transition actually from our old company to Park Lane Jewelry. And I was kind of watching them do that. And as I'm watching them do that, I'm thinking, these are some of the most savvy businesswomen I've ever encountered in my life. Like they must know something.
Right.
I should probably pay attention to what it is they're doing. Because that's always been, if I can give like any advice, business and life, it's like, watch what the people, if you want something and someone else has that, watch what they're doing and do that.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of like the recipe for success.
Right. It's almost like copy it, but make it your own, right? Like take what they're doing that's working for them, mold it to what you do, and then do it yourself.
Exactly. And especially when you are, you know, because I've transitioned careers many times. And so you're kind of getting into something new. It's like, I always try to look out for who are those people who are very successful doing this. And can I role model them? Can I mentor with them? Can I learn from them? Because they obviously know something that will benefit me. So I got the information. So I was really scared because I felt like with our old company, I had sort of like personally branded myself with them, if that makes sense. Like they were,
it's almost like you become that brand yourself. It's like
I felt like I was
this brand.
You know, for my local people, for my customers, I was like the face of that brand. And I felt it was hard to leave that behind and go to something new and try something new. But when I sat down and I looked objectively at the information, and sometimes it's hard for me to do that. And I think sometimes it's hard for women to do that. We get emotionally attached to something and we're not objectively looking at the information. But when I objectively looked at the information, I looked at both compensation plans and I realized I would have made double what I made doing the same amount of work. I looked at our host rewards because it was a party plan business. So our hosts get rewards and they're kind of the lifeblood of our business, introducing us to new people, grow. That's how I grow my business. Every party I'm meeting 10 new people to grow my network. And so I looked at the host rewards and all of my hosts from the last year would have gotten double the host rewards. And I was like, it's kind of
almost selfish of you to not go, right?
Right. Like I felt like it was in their best interest. We had an amazing customer sale that we did not have access to at our old company. So people could get more value for their dollar. Like I just felt like there were so many benefits. When I really looked at it on paper, I couldn't not give it a try. And I couldn't not do it for my family because I mean, and to give a little context, my kids have never met an activity they didn't like we're in everything. And my son plays travel hockey. He's to give you like he's 10 years old. We just like traveled to Nashville for a tournament. Like he doesn't play any games in the state of Rhode Island. He only plays throughout New England. So like like a hockey day for us could be a 12-hour day on the weekend. I spend about 40 hours a week at this point in my car. In addition, my daughter goes to school 45 minutes away. So like I usually leave my house at like 1:30 and I get home at like 9 or 9:30 at night, pretty much every night. Like I'm always in the car.
You're in the car.
So I knew I needed something very flexible to accommodate my family schedule. But at the same time, all of those things are very expensive.
Yeah.
Those things, you know, like I need to work part-time, but I need to make the same amount of money, like a full-time income, because
we have things we need
school,
to pay
they
for.
want private school, they want to leave. I mean, there's a lot, you know, it costs a lot, we're just be real. So I was like, I felt like I had to do it for them too. So I gave it a try, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And it was hard, but I always feel like but in my gut, I knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. Like I felt conflicted, or I felt, because I always, I don't know, that's that saying, go with your gut. I go with my gut. And sometimes you feel pulled towards something. And when you do, you have to listen to it, even being pulled to listen to the information. When you get that uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach, then it's wrong. Like that's just, I go by that. So I felt nervous, excited. It was nervous, but I was still like excited to do something new.
Right. And I kind of feel like a lot of times too, like if you're doing something and you don't feel uncomfortable doing it, but not the bad uncomfortable, it's like that good uncomfort, like that little bit of butterflies in your stomach, then you're still not really uncomfortable. You're really kind of settling for something where you're just, you know, you're going about doing your own thing. You really need to kind of stretch yourself in order to be able to grow. And I think what you did and what you're currently doing is pretty amazing.
So yeah, so I've been with Park Lane for almost 3 years now, 2.5 years to 3 years. And I know, I can't believe time just flies, but it has been incredible. I feel like I found my home. And it's so funny how each phase led to the next phase. I wouldn't have gotten here if I hadn't done the other things. And I think that's what's so incredible about life. And especially in this day with careers, like one thing leads to the next. And so now I think about all my past experience. Like I use a lot of psychology in the work I do, and I get to coach the women on my team, which is the thing I love to do the most. I get to market, like I get to do all of those things.
Right. You're taking all pieces of yourself from the past and utilizing it in your current job. You're just doing it in a different way.
Exactly. Even like, you know, my other background before I was in corporate, I did theater. So it's even like I get to public speak, you know, I get to kind of really, all the parts of me get to come alive in this job. And so in the last, you know, 2.5, 3 years, my business has grown exponentially. This will be my first 6-figure year. I'm super excited about. I promoted.
You, Dana. That's amazing.
Thank you. I promoted twice. So I'm now a sales vice president with the company, which was, you know, it was one of those things that I thought was like so far in the future, and it just, everything was snowballing and happening. And I think a real big part of this was actually how we sort of pivoted during the pandemic.
I was just going to say, because I want to point out the fact that all of this success you had during the 20 months that we were all in quarantine and lockdown. That itself is, can you talk a little bit about that, how you were able to pivot yourself and really grow your business?
Absolutely. So, I mean, first of all, when that first, I mean, I think everyone was sort of frozen. No one really knew what was coming, what we were going to do. Certainly at that time, I did some online parties, but most of my parties had been in person. So now I'm not going into people's homes. I'm not like, I think everybody was like, what are we going to do? And even doing it online, like right when that happened, right at the start, it felt strange to be like, let's buy some jewelry, right? Like it just,
when everyone's not doing anything, people aren't working, there's no toilet paper in the grocery store.
It felt weird, right? Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody needs a pair of statement earrings, right?
Right.
So first we kind of like paused and kind of reevaluated. And I'm very fortunate at Park Lane that we have an amazing leadership team. And so we really work together, come together. We have a unique program, and you know about it, Paige, where it's called direct appoint. So if you were a leader with another company, you can come in at a lateral level. So you are coming in at the same level, which is unique to that as a direct sales company. So what happens is we sort of attract a lot of top leaders from a lot of different companies that come with so much different experience of the training they got there and their experiences. So it's like this great melting pot of information. And so we really like our leaders banded together and tried to figure out what we could do. So the first thing we did actually was to start by giving back, because it just felt a little strange to have people shop right then. And so we actually came together and put together something called Project Sparkle. We said, what can we do? Like, we're jewelry people. What are we doing? Right. And so we actually put together, I'm super proud of it. We're all super proud of it. It was across the country where, we did a campaign where people could donate money, and we would put together sparkle packages for all of the nurses. So all the people on the front line. So some people did nurses, you could do other, professions. I did nurses at my local emergency room. And so it was just something where we felt like we were doing something. We were in action. We were using what we had at our disposal, which was jewelry, and we were bringing light to people. We were bringing joy. Yeah. And it was kind of like kind of in that time, I feel like it's like, what can you do to bring joy to other people? And so
they were shopping, but they really weren't shopping for themselves. They were shopping in more of a charitable way and bringing it to those frontline workers who were helping us during the chaos.
Absolutely. And it was amazing. I mean, you should have just seen like the people when they receive these gifts. We have like video footage. People, awesome. They would contact me like, I can't believe you did. Like, it was incredible. So that was so fun. So we kind of did that. We started like from a place of let's give back, let's give joy. What we have to give joy with is sparkle. Let's do that. So we kind of started with that. And then we also were like, we are going to have to continue at some point. Like, things are going to settle in, and we need to figure out how we bring our businesses fully online. And we truthfully at that point had not yet cracked the code on it. We did it a little here and there.
Trial and error kind of along the way.
Exactly. And so what was great was we took all of these, just genius ideas from everyone that we were working with, and we put together templates, scripts, everything that you could ever possibly need, best practices, like processes, like checklists, everything that someone could possibly need to run their business online and do parties online. And actually, when I switched to doing my business 100% online, it took off. And I think a big thing for me was, as a crazy busy mom, I only had a few time slots per, I had like maybe one time slot a week that I could do an in-person party. Cause it's not hard, but like, you do have to drive there, you have to set up, it's a couple of hours, you're at a party, and we just didn't have a lot of time in our schedule. And now that I do online parties, I literally, and I like last year, there was on Wednesdays, I would do this. We had baseball. I would literally pull in my driveway. Everything was set up. I would change my top. I would come in, I would do a party. I would leave as soon as the party was over to do dance pickup. So I could literally, when I say fit this in the tiny pockets of time, like, that's what I do.
Right. So you prepared better too. Like, if you have a set up situation or like a location in your house where you're able to kind of have all your stuff situated, and then do your party online and kind of pop in, pop out, almost like it's a virtual office, but in your house.
Absolutely. And then we got even smarter. Now I do multi-host parties. So usually I will do between 2 and 4 hosts per party. So it's one party I'm doing, but I'm hitting 2 to 4 times the people every time I'm doing it. So, all of this has evolved over time, and I think that the best part is just sharing what is working, what is not, when something's not working, asking for support, figuring out like what might not be working so you can put a better solution in place. So
with the transition though online, do you feel as though you miss that personal connection, or do you feel, especially if you're doing multiple people in a party, do you feel as though you're still having an opportunity to connect with your customers?
I do. I feel like the world has changed. I mean, we just are a more virtual world. Like, there are people on my team that I talk to every day that I've never met. I just met my upline leader. We've been working together for 3 years. Like, when I say closely, like very closely. And she just actually, when I promoted, she and our top leader, Tish, came to Rhode Island for a celebration. That was the first time I met Sarah, like my leader. But I felt like we were
right, because you talked to each other over the phone, probably on Zoom, do all these different things.
Yeah, I mean, there is no it always is nice to get together in person, but I do think just practically, and I think most of the people that I do parties for are probably in my same phase of life. It just tends to be that way. Usually we attract people to our team, and we attract customers that are like us.
Right. Because I feel like kids at between a certain age group, they are consistently busy. And if you have taken that time to stay home with your kids, where you kind of are their go-to. They can't drive themselves. So it's like you are living through their life a little bit.
Oh my God. And I think it almost gets like worse when they're like teenagers. Cause now my daughter's a teen now, like the pickup times are like at 10:30, 11. Yeah. It's just like,
yeah,
I feel like sometimes I'm just in my pajamas, but it's nice because I can just take my business on the go. I bring my laptop. I've got everything's on my phone. We've got these great apps. I don't know if you've ever heard of Boards, but it's amazing. It's like a keyboard where you save all your templates and like you just click of a button and it's like, here's my answer to that. Like, and it's a whole paragraph and it's like, there's just a lot of amazing technology that you can use now to run your business on the go.
And listen, if as a busy mom and as an entrepreneur, if you're able to have a successful business and do it from your phone as you're also doing other things, I don't know that there is a proper price that you can even put on that, because that really is invaluable, so that you can really do all of the things and be able to bring an income for yourself and for your family. And what you're doing too is not only supporting, yourself and your family, but you're also assisting other women to do the very same thing that you're doing. And that is huge.
And that's really my passion. I mean, I love the jewelry. I love the fun of the parties, but like what I love is my team. Like that's the thing I really love. And I think because of my experience being so frustrated that there weren't more flexible options, and then also being frustrated, whether it was in my first small business or my other company, like I felt like I had all the things, but I wasn't being compensated, but the compensation was not.
Absolutely. I think
and now that I have something I feel strongly that does compensate someone for their effort in an appropriate way, like I feel like I want to just share that.
Absolutely. Now I've only been in really 2 direct sales businesses, but the one thing that I can say about the 2 differences, and that Park Lane is really great about, is that not only do you have the capability of coming in where you were from previous businesses that you worked, but you don't have to, what's the best way? You don't have to basically kill yourself every single month to maintain that status. It's like once you promote, you are able to stay. You're not losing income. You don't have to. I think that was a frustrating thing. And I think that's a frustrating thing for anyone in a direct sales business that doesn't have the capability of maintaining their promoted status. It's having to re-up every single month. It's like you work so hard every month to get a certain level, and then once you hit it, it's like like you have this small window of celebration, because then all of a sudden you have to redo it all over again, and you don't have that with Park Lane.
So you don't need to re-earn your level every month, which is, I mean, if you're going to tout that you're a flexible company, you've got to be a flexible company. And what that means is that there will be times where people work more consistently and less consistently, because the whole purpose of this is to be able to fit it in around your life. So if you have things going on in your personal life and you have to take a step back, you need something where you're not penalized for doing that. If that's the thing that draws you in, and that's the thing we're promoting.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, why don't you tell us where we can find you, and how, where you are on social media, if you have a website. And then what I'm also going to do for our audience is put all of the links below in the comment section. So if you want to check out Dana's online boutique and her store, you'll be able to do that, to do some shopping. It is holiday time. We'll also be able to link up any of her social media accounts that she's going to tell us about. And then Dana, since it is December, and it is going to be a great time for people to shop, do you have any specials or anything that you want to promote for the month of December?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have some amazing, incredible gift options, great options for teachers. I'm happy to help anyone with their holiday shopping. Actually, the best thing to do is to, I have one actual website that has all of the links to all of those places that you referenced. It's called jewelsandjoy.com.
Okay.
And on there, you'll see my shopping site, but you'll also see my Facebook group. That's actually the best place to go in, because when you go in, you get an automatic 50% coupon on any piece of your choice. So you can kind of try things out, very low risk, pick something that you like at 50% off. And I can also help you if you want more than that. I can help you with that. We do have a great sale with Park Lane where it's a buy 2, get 4 sale. So when you buy 2 pieces that are full price, your least expensive items, you then get to unlock anything else you want at half price. And then we have a great bonus buy where you can get anything up to $200 for $30. It's crazy. So The best thing always is to go to my group, get that discount, get that 50% off coupon. And then if there's anything that catches your eye, you just let me know. And then I always put things together for people in the way that makes the most sense. I'm like a math geek, but that's the other side. I love math. And so my job, I always feel like if people get great quality jewelry and they feel like they got it at a great deal, they're going to come back for more. So I like to get people the best deal. So always just send me your wish list and then I tell you the best way to put it together, how to put all the deals.
So I'm going to log all that information below, and we will make sure that we're able to get you connected to Dana to do some shopping or to just be a part of her VIP group through her Park Lane business. So thank you so much, Dana. I really appreciate you being here with us, and wishing everybody a happy holiday, and make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button below. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.